What does it mean to be in this world, but not of this world? We're going to talk about this today. This is Tom Karen with the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Welcome back, creators. I got a great lesson today. What does it mean when Jesus talks about being in this world, but not of this world? When he says that you are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. What is Jesus referring to in the Bible? And there are other places in the Bible where he points to this. Well, the idea is that in our physical manifestation, in our physical bodies, we are spirits having a human experience. When we identify with the ego, when we identify with our thoughts about who we think we are, that we think we're separate. The ego is essentially, when we talk about the ego, it's talking about that separation from the divinity, from that pure consciousness, from that God consciousness. When we think we're absolutely separate from that, when we think we are our thoughts and start judging, condemning, pigeonholing, this is where we're in this world, right? And we are of this world as well. But how can we be in the world, still identified a little bit with our physical self, with this identification, but also be not of the world, embrace that Christ consciousness, embrace that divinity within? We're going to talk about this today. So the idea is to embody the divine, the Christ in you. It's to have one foot in the physical world and one foot in the spiritual world. I point to this when I talk about it in my book, Be Something Wonderful When Suddenly You Want to Be More, where I realized this is really where I always was. This is what was making me restless, unhappy, struggling at times, covering it up with whatever I could put my attention to in the physical world that really didn't mean anything, right? So we'll talk about this. The first thing I want to say, and all the spiritual teachers talk about this, all the enlightened ones, you are not your thoughts. What happens is, what makes us unhappy, what makes us restless, what makes us fearful at times, what makes us always striving and struggling and searching and wanting the next thing is because we believe in our thoughts. I need to be smarter. I need to accomplish more. I need to be valued more. I need to be worthy. These are all bogus because you're not your thoughts. This is all your imagination. We're either in our past, regretting something or analyzing something we regret or didn't do or did in the past, or we're speculating about our future, fearful about what may happen, trying to achieve a goal in the future. We're never in the now, right? We're always clinging to these thoughts. Why do we cling to these thoughts? Because we think that's who we are. Without our thoughts, who would we be? We get fearful, right? The ego does not let you to think about who you would be without these thoughts, because these thoughts don't help you. So what do? You can't get rid of your thoughts, right? Even when you're meditating, a lot of great spiritual teachers talk about this, is to let them pass like clouds in the sky, because the sky doesn't change. The sky's always blue. The problem, what happens is the clouds cover it up at times. Storms cover it up at times. But behind that is always that blue sky. It never changes. That's your divinity inside. That's your perfection inside. That never changes. Your divinity is that blue, perfect sky. What we do is we sometimes cause storms and dark clouds or even fluffy white clouds to cover it up. It's still covering it up, even if they're good thoughts, or what you consider good thoughts, right? This whole idea about duality, good and bad, right and wrong, is what keeps us in the striving mode, what keeps us conditioned on outside things, right? Instead of looking for the happiness and for the contentment and the peace and the clarity inside, we look to the outside. We define ourselves by these thoughts and by things on the outside. So stop fighting and trying to change what is. This is the real big thing, guys. So we cling to our thoughts and we try to change what is. This is really what gets us into either striving, we identify with something in the future that we must accomplish to be whole, to be who we are, or we get stuck in the past, or regretting what was and trying to change it, or just trying to change where we are right now. Where you are is the only thing that's true. What is, that eternal what is what's true. To say that to say I don't want to be unhappy is to fight against what is. To say I want to be happy is to fight against what is. The only time you can be happy is accepting exactly where you're at and then move from there. You're always attached to that greatness, to that beauty. So thoughts block the truth of who you are. The best way to do it is like clouds in the sky. Let them come and let them go. Be the observer. Step back from your thoughts, right? Don't fight them. Don't cling to them. Don't have them define who you are or what you can do. This is walking with one foot in the physical world and one foot in the spiritual world. This is the idea of being in the world, but not of the world, not tied to your ego consciousness, right? That egoic consciousness is what keeps us tied to fear and to striving and to struggling, right? And it's because we believe our thoughts, right? If you really start questioning your thoughts, a lot of these spiritual teachers talk about this. Question your thoughts. Is it true? Is it really true what you're thinking in your mind? Once you and do you need that thought? What would you be without that thought? Right? This is what a lot of great enlightened and spiritual teachers talk about. Imagine yourself without that thought. Most of them, guaranteed, 100% of the time, you'd be happy without that thought. This is the idea, right? Stop believing your thoughts. Stop identifying with them, right? This is the idea. Relate your thoughts, and then when you do have thoughts, this is the thing. We struggle with our thoughts. We battle with our thoughts. We're tough on ourselves, and that causes another form of, not only does the thought cause us to be unhappy, but the thought of thinking the thought causes us to be happy. The thought that we have the thoughts and that we can't control them. Don't try to control them. Anything with resistance or control never works. That's always what you resist persists. What a fight causes more war. This is the idea, guys. So relate to your thoughts think about a mother with a child that's acting up, a mother that really unconditionally loves her child. If the mother is, is loving the child, she's going to look at him with kindness, with love and compassion, knowing that the child doesn't know any better. That's like your thoughts. They don't know any better, right? Look at them, embrace them with love and kindness and compassion. Don't get attached to them. Don't look at the behavior of your it's like looking at the behavior of your child and then getting caught up reacting to that. Don't react to your thoughts. Simply know that they're there and let them pass. This is the idea. This is what all the spiritual greats did, right? Again, suffering is a choice. The pain can happen, but once it's really all in our thoughts, right? Once we move our thoughts and don't get attached to them and don't identify with them, don't identify with that egoic consciousness, then we don't suffer. There's nothing to suffer. We don't get attached to that idea. So this is really what I wanted to talk today. We're going to talk more about this. But really what happens is we get caught up on believing our story, the story we tell about ourselves. I'm unworthy. I am fat. I am skinny. I am smart. I am stupid. Whatever it is, we get caught up in our own story of who we are, right? And even if it's a positive thought, well, then you're at the risk of losing it. So even if it's something that you have and you get attached to it, then you're at the risk of losing it. It's really a total non-attachment, a detachment from everything, knowing that you already are everything, right? The good and bad are together. There's no right and wrong. Everything is the whole, is the God consciousness, is that divine. You can't have one without the other, light without dark. All of it is who you are. So whenever you start identifying with one or the other, you're starting to define yourself as something less than what you are. Right? You're both light and darkness. You're both good and bad. You're both right and wrong. You are the whole of all of that. It's only when we identify with one or the other too much that it sets us off balance of not being who we are. Right? It's a total non-attachment. It's a total love and compassion for what is at the moment. It's this it's this really connection to presence, right, to that God consciousness, because there is only now. We're going to talk a lot more about this, but this is the idea how to be in this world, but not of this world. Thoughts, again, the more you get attached to thoughts, if you start questioning them, try that. There are a lot of spiritual teachers out there that talk about this, but question your thoughts. Is it really true? And then once you realize that it's not, and that you don't have to have that thought, right? You don't need that thought. Then you start feeling the freedom, right? And letting them just pass by like clouds in the sky, right? Because who you are, that divinity, is all blue sky, right? It's all pure love, pure compassion, right? But again, don't beat yourself up. Be like a mother would be with a child. You'd look at that with kindness and compassion. You wouldn't look at what they're acting up. You wouldn't look at the behavior. You would look at them knowing that they don't know any better. Just like your thoughts, just like your egoic consciousness, right? When you get too attached to that, right? I'm not saying to give up your identity, but give up your attachment to it, right? Don't give up who you are, but give up your attachment to who you are, right? And this, because that's where defensiveness comes in. That's where fear comes in. That's where we want to protect it and improve it and strive for more, right? You're already perfect, just as who you are. I'll have some book recommendations, guys, on this kind of stuff as well in the future. I just wanted to kind of introduce this idea. This is Tom Kieran with the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. This is Tom Kieran. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.